Washington, 7 News, hundreds gathered outside the White House fence in Washington, D.C. Monday to protest the use of fossil fuels. They are calling on President Joe Biden to stop all fossil fuel projects. Approximately 500 protesters included both climate activists and indigenous peoples and their leaders. The People vs. Fossil Fuels protests are expected all week. Organized by Build Back Fossil Free, they are hoping to pressure President Biden into declaring a climate emergency ahead of the Glasgow COP26 climate summit. Related, celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day, Joe Biden, you have been making false promises. You stopped Keystone XL, what about DAPL, Line 5, MVP, said Joy Braun of Indigenous Environmental Network, who was arrested at today's action. This is Indigenous land. Indigenous peoples will be here for 1,000s of years. Biden, can you hear us now? As a part of the protests Monday, they wrote the words "Expect us" on the base of the statue of Andrew Jackson. We are going to put our bodies on the line there. If we have to be arrested in order to call attention to what the crisis is and that we need a climate emergency declared, we'll do that, said Casey Camp-Horonic, a tribal elder and environmental ambassador for Ponca Nation, who was also arrested at the White House fence this morning. There's been 500 years of people coming into a territory where all things were interdependent and functioning to a time of crisis, where even Biden's great-grandchildren won't survive if something doesn't change. The protesters are at risk for arrest being so close to the White House fence. Some of the demonstrators were taken into custody, like one woman who threw something over the fence. Groups of protesters pushed a temporary fence as Secret Service detained the woman. The Indigenous Environmental Network reported more than 130 protesters were arrested on the first day. Police have not put out official numbers yet. Every day the group will gather at Freedom Plaza at 8 a.m. and then march to the White House. On Friday, they are expected to march to Congress. Here are their themes each day: Monday, October 11th, Indigenous Peoples Day; Tuesday, October 12th, fossil fuels are driving the climate crisis; Wednesday, October 13th, climate chaos is happening now; Thursday, October 14th, we need real solutions, not false promises; Friday, October 15th, we did not vote for fossil fuels. Youth-led action. Here's a list of the group's demands. President Biden must stop approving fossil fuel projects and speed the end of the fossil fuel era. President Biden must declare a national climate emergency and launch a just, renewable energy revolution. People are dying right now from the pollutants, the toxins, the climate catastrophes that are happening, and we have to stop the harm, said Sikimik Mapan, the director of Sovereign Inupiat for a Living Arctic, which is working to protect indigenous lands and stop oil drilling in Alaska. Biden's election was riding on climate change, his entire election on people of color, indigenous people. But when it really comes to when it matters, our lives are still being sacrificed for oil and gas. Quote.